if their insurance premiums is coming out of their paycheck, you don't put it here.
No.
Because you would double dip if you did that. If their insurance premium is like a Healthcare Reform Act insurance premium, that's what you put here. And prescriptions and others. On child care, cleaning services, clothing, educational gifts, landscape, personal care, pet care, other sports lessons and other, those are all self-explanatory. On mortgage and rent payment, I want to know what their mortgage payment is, and then I want to know their taxes and insurance and if it's escrowed. I also want a copy of that insurance policy as well. Have them email it to you as homework because, again, we can price that out in PNC, and if we can save them dollars, that frees up money for us to do something else with. On their credit card payments, when they start looking up in the air, that just tells you there's more than one. So you just need to say, all right, how many are there? Come right to the bottom of your screen right here and just put a little 1, 2, 3, 4, start numbering for however many they are. Have them give you the names of them, what the balance is, and what the interest rate is. If they don't know it, it's homework. There's no way you can plug this in and get this effective if you don't know. I also want to know what their minimum payment is and what they're currently paying, because some people pay more. Here's what you'll find. They pay more to every card when they should be kind of snowballing this thing. Right. And we use that on vertex42.com. And that's where you can set up a debt avalanche or a debt snowball plan that sets it up month by month and tells them exactly when they're going to have everything paid off and prioritizes it either by highest balance or highest interest rate.
Is it VRTEX? 42.com?
You do that now, or you do that?
No, I do that when on the follow-up. Like when I go back and do my case design is when I'll plug all that in. But I need to have their exact interest rates, their exact minimum payment, and exactly how much they're paying on it, because on Vertex 42 it'll reallocate all that and put it where it needs to be to pay it off in the most advantageous way. Personal loans, student loans. Again, you're going to need to get those exact information. If they don't know it, it's homework. Yes, ma'am.
You were mentioning on the health and medical, not to put that again. So if it's already coming out of their paycheck, you were saying do not put it there.
Correct, because you've already compensated for it in the net take home. Alimony and child support, subscriptions, memberships, magazines, gym memberships, all of that kind of thing. Tithe and charity, travel and entertainment. Make sure in the tithe and charity you preface that with, hey, listen, whatever it is, it is. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help. So no fictitious numbers. Let's use the most real numbers possible. People are really scared there. It's either one thing or the other. Either they like inflate it because they want you to think they're a really good person, and then that skews your numbers anyway. Or they're completely, it's like nothing. Like they just say, I don't put anything in there. So it's feast or famine. You don't ever get, you just have to preface that a little bit and tell them, I'm not here to judge, I'm here to help. Whatever number it is, it's fine. I'm sure if we can get you squared away and it's not as much as you'd like it to be, we'll find a way for it to be more. Travel and entertainment. Oftentimes on this, I'm like, okay, so tell me about date night. What do you normally do? How often do you do that? How much does it normally cost? Let's try to figure this up on an average. How many family vacations do you take a year? How many work trips do you take a year? And then break that down to monthly. The electric bills, all that is pretty much all in the same. The only one that's not on here is alarm company, which most people have, so you just need to ask that. On their mortgage information, make sure you get all of the mortgage information on here. Auto loans, student loans, credit loans, personal loans, and other. All right, proper protection. Whatever insurance they have, I don't care what it is, make them go get the policy. Because they oftentimes think it's one thing and it's something completely different. If they don't have the policy, call the company right then and there. So when they say, well, Julia, I have whole life. I know it's whole life. I pay $20 a month for it, and it's about $200,000. I know it's whole life. I know it's whole life. And I'm saying, really? That's a really great rate for whole life. Do you mind to get that policy? Oh, well, I don't know what it is. Okay, great. Do you mind if we call them? Because I need to ask them a few questions. Not only will we verify your benefits to make sure, but I'll ask a few questions because if it's that good, that's what I need to be recommending to all my clients. I don't know how you came across that, but that's phenomenal. We need to check it out. And then you get them on the phone. You put it on speaker so that the bad news comes from the horse's mouth. And all you say is, this is Julia with Transamerica. I am a financial professional. We're just verifying some benefits, doing a little financial planning. I just need to see what they have. They're right here with me. Did you want to ask them a few questions? And they will. Ask them their social and their mother's maiden name and the policy number. If they don't have the policy number, they can pull it up. Say, all right, can you verify for me? And you just pull out your little form and you put your head down and you don't look at the client at all. What type of policy is this? And you wait for them to answer and you write it down. They're going to say probably term.
10-year term.
And you don't say anything. And you say, term. Are you sure that's not whole life? We were under the impression that's whole life. And they say, nope, it's a term. Okay, so just so we're on the same page, that basically means that that rate is locked in for them for how long? And they're going to say 10 years or 20 years, whatever it is. Your client's over there fuming at this point, but don't look at them. Just keep your head down. And then the next question is going to be, well, what's the face amount on that? And then the next question is going to be, well, who are the beneficiaries on that? And then you're going to be just sweet as pie, and thank you so much for your help. One more thing. After that 10 years is up, what's the rate going to be on that? And it will no longer be $20. It'll be something like $250 a month. Or sometimes they won't tell you. They'll say, oh, we can't figure that up because it's not time yet. Say, okay, well, if today were the 10-year mark, what would the rate be today if that rolled over? And then you sit with your head down very quietly waiting, and your client's about to jump out of their skin waiting too, because everything they thought it to believe is not that at all. And you write it down. And then you say, thank you so much for your help, and you hang up. And the client is probably going to cuss them just as soon as you hang up the phone. This is not time for you to sell. This is time for you to be the hero and say, don't worry. I'm sure we can fix it. When I make my recommendations, I'll make sure to take that into account and move on. If you jump all over it trying to sell them a whole life policy or universal life policy right then, they can smell the greed on your breath. Stop. Don't sell in this process at any point. This is just data collection. All right. Every policy they have, they're oftentimes going to say, oh, well, I do have a policy at work and it's this, this, and this. Please understand they do not own that policy. So your follow-up question is, oh, yeah, the kind at work is always great, but you don't own it because it doesn't go with you when you leave. What policies do you own? By asking it just that way, whether they have any or not, in their mind, they're like, oh, I'm supposed to own some kind of insurance here. Well, I don't know if I own it or not. Let's go through that. Because at work, when you leave that job, it doesn't go with you. You don't own that. So what policies do you own? When it comes to, when you have them all listed here, then my next question is to go through each one of them and say, what's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of this one? What's the purpose of this one? And they're going to look at you kind of funny and be like, what do you mean? Well, I mean, is this one to pay off your mortgage, or is this one for survivor income, or is this one to cover your burial? What is the purpose for it? How did you come to this figure? Is that just a good round number that you pulled out of the air, or did somebody recommend this to you? What's the purpose of it? Because I need to know. Well, if they want to leave $500,000 to their kids and all they have is $500,000, but they also have a $300,000 mortgage and they also have, $200,000 worth of debt, well, they're not leaving anything to the kids. I need to know the purpose, and I need them to mentally connect those policies to a purpose. The next question is going to be, after I ask what the purpose is how did you come to own this? Because I want to know, did they call a 1-800 number that they seen on a commercial on the TV? Did an agent come out and sell it to them? How did they come to own that policy? That tells me how they like to buy. You probably wouldn't need to know that if you're going to sell them something, right? Retirement goals. How do you feel? This is a feeling question, because feeling questions, understand that people buy on emotion and they back it with logic. That's why we have so many feeling questions on our FNA. How do you feel about your current retirement plans? And then shut up and let them just answer. And sit there and look at them until they answer. Because when they say fine, I need you to define fine. Is that like good fine or bad fine? Because sometimes when I'm talking to my significant other, if I say fine in that tone, it's probably not a good fine. So I just really need you to tell me what fine means to you. Does that mean that everything is good, that you know exactly what you're going to get? Or does that mean I think it's fine because I don't really know exactly what's coming to me? Those are onion questions that you should be pulling back more layers to. The next thing I want to know is